Hi guys, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. But before anything, happy World Book Day, because that is today. It is one of my most favorite days of the entire year, but also because this week's video is going to be in honor of World Book Day, because in honor of World Book Day today we will be doing bookish stuff with a twist, because since I'm heading out on vacation soon, we're going to be doing it in vacation edition, wherein I'm getting all these bookish tasks done before I head out on vacation, simply because, listen, I'm just trying to soak up all the vibes and enjoy all the bookish fun, and that's today's plan. Basically, we're going to be doing all the sort of book stuff we can do under the moon, all vacation coded, getting excited for the summertime, doing all these fun things, and let's just hop right in because that's today's video. So I am starting to record this later in the week, and that's because I was actually recording a different video for this week. I'm reading this book and I'm not going to speak anything beyond that further. You have to wait for the video to come out. It's taking longer than I thought it would, which is why I thought we could do like a bunch of fun bookish activities in the middle to kind of break up the monotony and, you know, give me some fun time to like soak up the experience of reading that, but also going ahead and doing other fun bookish items before I actually head out on vacation. And so I have like a mental agenda compiled of things I actually want to get to in today's video over the weekend and whatnot, because there's so many fun items I'd like to check off my list, especially because I've been busy with the exams for like probably majority of the last 1 month, and now that I'm finally done with it and free, I feel like this is just the best way to celebrate as well, which is why that's today's plans. Basically, one of the first things I would like to get to is kind of reading a bunch of summer books off my TBR and whatnot, getting excited for my vacation, because who doesn't want to do that. The second thing I'd like to do is probably go and do some crafting. So I was thinking some embroidery, maybe some crochet, because again, just something to do as I'm listening to my audiobooks, and it'll make sense once I actually give you context behind it. But that's another item. The fourth thing I actually want to do is a bunch of book shopping, because I've been very good with my book buying ban this year. I've only bought 2 books after having read them and realized that, wait, I love these so much that I need them on my shelves, to the point where now I've been craving a book haul. And listen, it doesn't matter, it's not the end of the world, which is why that's what we're going to do today, wherein I've ordered a few books already. I want to go hit up the bookstore if we can. And also today is World Book Day, and today is also Stuff Your Kindle Day, which means I can get like a couple of fun books hopefully on my Kindle as well, because I haven't bought a single book this year on Kindle as well. It's all the stuff I've had collected over the years, and so I need like a Kindle refresh too. And along with all the book shopping, I feel like I can also give you like a book haul or whatever. So that's the 5th item on our list, because there'll be a bunch of things I'll be buying. Won't necessarily be books I've not read, it might just be books I've already read but need copies of, but overall it'll still be a fun haul, and hopefully we'll get a few fun books throughout the process, which is why there's that. Next up, I would also like, for the 6th item on the list, to go ahead and actually pick out the books I want to carry with me on vacation, because I haven't decided yet and time is running out, because I'll be heading out soon, which means we need to pick them out together. I need your opinions before I finally head out, and so there's that. I would also like to, if we can, for the 7th item, actually start packing for my vacation, because none of that's begun yet as well, and so maybe help on that too. 8th item, it's been about 3 weeks since I haven't done my nails and whatnot, to the point where I'm craving them right now, and I would like to lock in and do them with you all. Again, vacation themed as well, as we're listening to a book, so that's number 8. And I think lastly for number 9, because I haven't thought of anything beyond at the moment at least, but if I do, basically for now I would like to change out my Kindle case, because I have a different one that would fit the season better, because while this definitely gives Akamov vibes, winter vibes, and I love it, it's not winter right now, it's a whole different season, and I feel like I want to change out cases. I've been kind of bored looking at this for the past few months, and I would like a refresh on that too, which is why there'll be this. And for the 10th item, because I just thought of something, if we get the time, I'd like to catch up on my reading journal, because that got completely waylaid in the middle of like college and studying and all these other things, and now that I finally have the time, I would love to catch up, get crafty with all of that, and do a bunch of fun things throughout. And those are basically our plans for this video. So now let's just hop directly in. I want to start off firstly with reading the books, like I said, because I did start a couple of vacation books throughout the past week and whatnot on Kindle, just because I was in the mood, that I haven't gotten around to finishing yet, which means we'll finish them together. But I also want to start one specifically just for this video that I haven't gotten to yet, so I'll go pick something out as well, get to reading and whatnot, and I'll update you all once I have, you know, things to say on the first book. But so far I'm already so excited, because listen, it's finally time that I get to get in my vacation spirit and do all these fun bookish items that I just haven't had the time for, which means it's time to celebrate. And so World Book Day has come in at exactly the right time this year for me. I'm already gonna have such a great start, and now let's just start off with actually getting the things done, which is why I see you all in a bit once I have update number 1. But those are our plans basically, and it's gonna be so fun. Okay guys, it's only a little bit later and I'm already here for my first couple updates because I've done a couple things. I need to speak about a couple things, so here we are. Firstly, I went ahead and swapped out my Kindle cover and whatnot, so I took the other one out and I have my cherry bow cover back in place because again, this screams summer. This screams more like those happy warm seasons to me, which is why I had to come back on because I've been alternating between reading the next book that we'll be speaking about and whatnot on Kindle and then kind of listening to it read out to me on the NetGalley app. And so I figured, change of pace, change of scenery if I want to go look at it, which is why might as well get this done as the first item, and so that's done. After that, I went ahead and checked what spot I was at on the Kindle version of the book so I could link it up with the NetGalley and then kind of listen to the remaining bit out because I have not done my laundry for like quite some time now because I've been really busy with exams and stuff, and so all I was doing all evening was kind of folding the clothes out as I was listening to my book, having somewhat a decent time anyway, and so that's what I was doing. Kind of underestimated how much I had left and how quick the audio goes because listen, I'm done with the book now, so update time. This one's called Summer of Second Chances. It was sent to me by the publisher, so thank you so much for my arc, and this one I believe comes out on May the 5th in case you all want to go get it as well because this is K.L. Walther's new book and I was so excited because I read like a couple of their books last year, had the best time. They scream like peak summer to me to the point where I just knew that I needed to get to this, especially before I left for vacation, just because I wanted those vibes, and it definitely delivered. For a quick premise, we followed this girl called Olivia. Unlike her friends and colleagues and whatnot, everyone else is heading out to college. She's taking a gap year because she's decided that she wants, the year off so she can spend time kind of with her grandmother who has dementia before it's too late. And so, you can definitely tell that she's devoted. You can definitely tell that she's very close to her grandma and scared of losing her, and so she wants to spend all her time there, except when her stepmother comes up with the idea of going to Martha's Vineyard for like 3 weeks in the summer. Olivia is first gonna say no and whatnot. She's down to like completely like throw the idea out because at the moment, at least at the beginning of the book, you do realize that she's not very close to her family and whatnot. She's closer to her grandma simply because she feels left out because her father started a whole new family and she doesn't really feel part of it. So originally it feels like everyone's wronging her, but as she starts to think of it, she discovers this like box of Annie's old photos. Annie's the grandma who also visited Martha's Vineyard back in the day, and so she comes up with this idea of going ahead and actually going with Erica, the stepmother, and actually visiting the place just so she can recreate Annie's old photos in her own way and in her own setting and kind of compile it into like a big picture book and give it to Annie as some sort of like present and whatnot so she can try to remember all the moments and whatnot and spend more time with her and whatnot. It's a really cool project she comes up with. It's more of like the heart and whatnot, which is really sweet, and so she decides okay, she'll finally go on the trip. When she goes on the trip though, she's having the best summer ever and she ends up running into this guy called Connor, and right off the bat they have this insane like chemistry and whatnot. They know they want to pursue things further, but as we have established at this point, Olivia's scared of losing people, so she doesn't want like more people added into her life that she has the fear of losing, which is why she's scared to take the next step. But basically this is almost like a romance between the two of them. But before anything, in my opinion, this feels very much like a chick lit coming of age sort of novel wherein you actually watch her and her relationship with her grandma first. So if you're going for romance, there's only a subplot, just keep that in mind, but otherwise it's a really good book. I feel like the connection between her and her grandma, I really enjoyed that. It's very realistic the way it's written, so if you do have triggers about the subject, you should probably go look it up because some moments they are gut-wrenching and they're harder to read about, but I feel like again the realism should be commended. Apart from that, there's like the whole setting and whatnot, which was really screaming summer to me, so I'm so happy about it because everything about it has just gotten me excited to like have long beach days and like ice cream by the water and whatnot, and now I can go do that soon. So there was that definitely helped because that was the whole point of this video. But for me personally, the romance did feel a little bit short simply because number one, I feel like if it's a YA book, it needs to be done really well so you can like have their connection, because in YA romances, the only ones I really end up enjoying are Lynn Painter's, because I feel like then since there's nothing physical they can do, they have to build on the emotional chemistry, and she does them really well. And if you want something similar to Lynn Painter, there's obviously this, but for me personally, romance fell short because I feel like their connection was only spanning like 2 weeks or something like that, and throughout the entire time they're like questioning things, and it does make sense for their age, but it did like look realistic overall. It just did not make sense overall. And you know, by the end of the book they're like 18 and whatnot and planning futures together and stuff, and it's not that deep obviously, but like still in my opinion it just did not work. I didn't really see the connection too much. Like there were moments for sure, but the overall thing of them working out in the long-term future and whatnot, I'm not really sure about that, just because again they're really young. They don't need to be thinking about like long-term and whatnot, or maybe I'm just a skeptic. But for me personally, yeah, that wasn't the best, because again they have only 2 weeks to connect, and then beyond that they're looking into making things permanent after they get back to their own hometowns, which are different, which is why there's obviously that. But then also for me, the point of me reading this was for the vibes, which is why I definitely got the most out of that experience anyway. And yeah, I did have a good time with it. I wish Olivia was a more open character at some bits, definitely, but I feel like again it was very important for her development till the end of the book, where we finally got some conversations that needed to happen, which is why I'm gonna give it like 3.5 stars. It wasn't a bad book, it's just I was a little bored at some bits, and you know, it definitely could have been better in the romance side, but still I'm so happy I read it. It gave me what I needed, and this was book number 1. I did go ahead and already start book number 2 as well a couple nights ago on Kindle, just did not continue it, which is why at this point I'm thinking I want to start listening to that on audio and whatnot as I go ahead and kind of finish out the remaining bits of the elephant embroidery I've got left. So I'm thinking I'll finish that out and update you once I have more of this done for the next couple tasks, another summer book and another fun activity. But so far, yeah, we have a couple things checked off already on the great side, and this I really want to get done at least by tonight, because I want to send it off for like framing and fully getting it ready before I leave, because I'm actually making this as a gift to give to my grandma whose house I'll be going at, you know, in the summer house and whatnot, which is why hopefully I'll get it done tonight, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, already having the best time ever, kind of listening to my summer books, getting all the vibes, and then now I'll be crafting, so like you literally cannot beat that. So I'm gonna go do all of that, and I'll see you all in a bit once I have that done. But also I do have to go for dinner now, so it really just depends, and there's obviously that. Another thing is that Stuff Your Kindle, the event, it lasts only the one day that it is, and it's today. So I'm thinking after dinner I just want to lock in and see what books I might consider getting on Kindle and whatnot for that. So I'll meet up with you all in a little bit as well for doing that too. But yeah, those are the plans for the rest of the night. Hopefully we'll get the next book done as well, embroidery, some book shopping, all good things. And now I'm just gonna go get back to it, so I'll see you all in a bit, and that's about it for this update. And so bye. It is a couple hours later. I am late for dinner at this point, but I'm done with our next book, so I figured I'd update, because every time I pick up an audiobook after I extended like Kindle reading and whatnot, I always end up not realizing that it's gonna take lesser time than the Kindle and whatnot. So at this point I'm done with Mary Jane, and I'm here to kind of speak about it. But before anything, I'm not done with the elephant as yet, the embroidery, and I want to do crochet in the night as well later. So we will be picking up one final book for this video, preferably something on Kindle, so I can like audiobook and then whatever's left kind of read the rest of it on Kindle out as well. But for now, for this one specifically, because I'm done with it, it's very interesting because this is like a literary fiction sort of book, and it was on my 25 to read in 2025. Wait, it's 2026. Shit, I'm so sorry. In my 26 to read in 2026 list. That's so embarrassing, because I've seen everyone, whoever like reads it online, end up loving it, giving it 5 stars and whatnot. And for me personally, I just don't get the hype, because for like a quick premise, we follow Mary Jane. She is raised up in this like conservative, traditional sort of household, and so she's always been almost like Pavloved into behaving like a shy, quiet kid, and no one really knows what she's really like and the sort of thoughts she really has inside. And she's 14 years old, by the way, back in the 1970s or something like that. Except now, over the summer, she ends up landing this job as a nanny to this doctor's like child and whatnot, which her mom clearly approves of because he's like a doctor and stuff. So she figures that okay, she has a summer set for her. Except when she actually goes to do the job, she figures out that not everything is as it seems, because the doctor isn't actually a doctor, he's a psychiatrist, and that's not something her mom would approve of in the first place. He's actually currently spending his summer helping this like rock star kind of get clean and whatnot off of drugs, almost like rehab in their house, to the point where that rock star and his wife actually going to be moving into the house while Mary Jane is there as well. And the house in itself, it's a complete mess. The family is not what it seems like, so it's completely like thrown her off balance, because that's just not what she expected off of what she was imagining to be like a quiet summer looking after a kid. And so, you know, now all of this happens, they end up moving in, and suddenly she's exposed to the sort of lifestyle that she wouldn't be allowed to even think about if she was back home, because there's like a bunch of other things coming into play. It very much shows you that if you live like a free approach to life that is more fun and that you can kind of tell off of the story, because every time she goes over to the house of the Cones, basically the family she's babysitting for, she feels open and free and like she's found her people in this world because of their liberal approach on things and the things she's exposed to there. And then when she gets back home, she's in fear because of the traditional approach. And it's very interesting. It's almost like social commentary and stuff. It's definitely literary fiction, and it definitely gives summer vibes, so that was there. It's just, I feel like this book is very character driven. It doesn't have like an overall plot structure. This is basically just the premise in a very loose sense. You will probably enjoy this only if you end up connecting to the characters and wanting to see their story and their arcs sort of play out. But for me personally, I don't know what it was about it, because it's a very interesting book, don't get me wrong. I was definitely engaged enough to keep going to the point where I'm late for dinner. But the thing is, I don't think I enjoyed this, because there were bits of it that I was bored, bits of it that I was confused at. The very ending is just not my favorite, and so overall I don't think I'm at the stage in my life, because I keep trying every few months, but I don't think I'm at it that I'll still appreciate literary fiction at the moment. If it's really good, I probably will, because I do have a couple of literary fic favorites that I've given like 5 stars and whatnot. It's just this one specifically, it wasn't it, because I didn't connect with the characters. I couldn't care less for the story. It just feels like one of those overextended like cards that tells you to live like a good life and whatnot on your terms, except it's been made into like a novel size, and you know, there's like a bunch of other things going on. There was only one bit that I truly was looking forward to in the book, wherein, you know, things started to come out towards the end, but even that, I kind of got boring really fast, did not hold my attention. And so overall, I'm not sure if I want to rate this like 2 stars or 3, because it just wasn't a book for me. I understand it's for others and I'm not trying to yuck someone else's yum. It's just, in my opinion, it did not work. So I don't know what I'm going to rate it yet. I'll have it on screen when I'm editing, but I'm done with it at this point, and it definitely did give like fun summer vibes that are getting me excited for vacation. So overall, it wasn't such like a bad flop show, and I'm done with this now as well. I will pick up the next book later after I'm back from dinner and whatnot, as I continue with the elephant and the crochet stuff, which I want to get done tonight. But I also realized that after like Stuff Your Kindle Day shopping, I'd like to go ahead and paint my nails tonight as well, so they're dry enough for the expeditions we'll be performing and carrying out tomorrow, which is why a bunch of things we'll be doing tonight. But I think I'll directly just come in and speak to you all now tomorrow afternoon, so I will be there with a bunch of updates. But until then, yeah, I'm just gonna go get back to it, and I guess see you guys in a bit. So that's it for this update, and hopefully the next book is better, but here we are anyway, and bye. Hi guys, so it's update time now, because I completely skipped the last couple days. So it's actually Sunday today, but I still have like a couple of other things to say as well, which is why this is not the end of the video. This is just like a random mid check-in, because I'm done with the next book. I finished a couple other things off our checklist, and so I needed to come speak about those. And then right afterward, I'll get into the rest of the plans for the video, because we still have a bunch of fun bookish items I'd like to get to. For now though, I have finished our next book, which I completely started from scratch for this video. This one's called Hot to Go. This is by the same author who wrote Textbook Romance, which I read a couple years ago. I read a different book of theirs, I think around Christmas time as well, a couple months ago in December and whatnot, but that one I just didn't really enjoy the way I did Textbook Romance. So I figured, since this was sent to me as an arc around the time it was released, at this point it's out, I just did not get to it. I figured it's a holiday romance book, holiday in the summer sense, so might as well give her books another shot and whatnot, because I did enjoy the other book by this author a lot, and so I figured nothing to lose here. And apparently everything was, because I did not like this. Again, I don't know what the problem is. Maybe Textbook Romance was like a one-off that I really enjoyed, because this, for like a quick premise, we follow Susie. She's like a French teacher. She's just recovering off of this like really bad breakup, and so her cousins actually encourage her to take a much needed like vacation, get away from it all over the summer season. And she's actually the French teacher, by the way, so right off like school getting released and whatnot, she has the perfect chance to take like a couple months off for herself, have the best time on vacation, and then right after she'll be joining in this new school as their French teacher and whatnot. So she'll kind of redo her life all over after that horrible breakup, except now it's actually the vacation. She ends up going there, she ends up running into this Spanish man called Carlos, and they hit it off right off the bat and whatnot. They have this like insane tension and chemistry. So she's just like, listen, she's just out of a bad breakup, so she's not looking for like a relationship, but also it's just a fling. It's it's not the end of the world. So she ends up telling him a couple white lies about her own identity. She tells him that she's like a French woman and whatnot with a different name and stuff, and just hanging out, doing whatever, except it's just gonna be a vacation thing, right? So vacation ends, she gets back home, except apparently it wasn't just a vacation thing, because she told a couple white lies about her identity. He did as well. He is not Carlos, he's actually Charlie, the new Spanish teacher coming to work at the same school that she's working at. And so right off the bat, when school starts up again, they end up running into each other. It's kind of awkward right off the bat, but then right after that, it's kind of weird because now they definitely have chemistry and they did not end things on like a great note on vacation. Almost like they have unfinished business, but the thing is they can't do anything beyond it because they're still at their workplace. There's all these children surrounding them and whatnot, except the school plans this other work sort of vacation to take the kids to see like a different place and whatnot, and suddenly these guys are nominated to like go for it, and so they're spending all this time together, realizing that maybe it wasn't just a fling after all. And this is not a bad book, it's just for me the chemistry did not work at all. I did not see either of their connection. I feel like it was fast forwarded and the pacing of it was really weird, but also it was extremely insta-lovey. And the other book I've read by this author, Textbook Romance, the innuendos and stuff, they worked in that. In these books it feels like the author's like purposely forcing it on you to the point where it's just not funny anymore. I'm just like standing there with like absolute straight face, just like wondering why the hell I'm getting to it in the first place, which is why, firstly though, thank you to the publishers for my copy. Obviously I'm happy I got to read it, but the actual experience of reading it wasn't my favorite, and at this point I'm not even sure if I'm going to read more of this author's books, because slowly I'm starting to understand that book maybe just got me at the right time when I read it for the first time. This one, again, not my favorite. So much about it just did not work. I feel like some things were just thrown in for dramatic aspect and it was prolonged more than it should have been, and maybe I just didn't enjoy it overall. So I'm going to give it like 2 stars. Happy I'm done at this point. And anyway, moving along, this book I was listening to partly on audiobook and then swapping back and forth on my Kindle as well. So it was like half and half sort of reading, and when I was doing the audiobook I did go ahead and manage to sit down and do more of my elephant embroidery, but by the time the book was done the embroidery wasn't. And at that point I'd also figured out that maybe I'll just extend this video a day, because I knew in my heart that I wasn't getting it done by Sunday, which is why I figured since we have another day added on, might as well pick up another book on audio specifically this time, so I have something fully to like immerse myself in and listen to as I work on the embroidery, to the point where now I'm nearly done with our next book. I still have like a couple hours easy left on it, but I'm done with the elephant embroidery, and so that's just something I wanted to update about because I finished it, and I'll give you a breakdown of what I did in the past couple of days as well, but that is done. And the other couple of items are online shopping, which I actually did a couple of weeks ago already, so we can check that off the list for books. And stuff your Kindle day shopping, because the last time I came in and updated, I did stay awake and go through my Kindle library and like choose something, but I chose only one book because nothing else really stuck out to me, so that's still something though, because I got a book for free and those 2 are checked off. But now to update you, Friday I did basically what I said I would do. I worked on my embroidery, I listened to my book, I was doing the stuff your Kindle stuff. I didn't do anything apart from that. But then moving on to Saturday, that was yesterday, since I'll be going for vacation for a whole month, I'm trying to spend my days also catching up with some of my friends and whatnot, so I've hung out with them enough before I go for a month, because I won't get to see them all that while, which is why I had other plans yesterday. That's all I was doing, and by the time I got back home I was too tired to really do anything. But the plans kind of included having to go to a bookstore together, so I could kind of get that checked off my list, except when we got there, because yesterday was indie bookstore day, so I feel like it aligned perfectly. Unfortunately, I don't think we were in luck yesterday, because the bookstore, apparently the one we went to, it was closed. There was a McDonald's right next to it. We went there for ice cream to like cheer up because the bookstore was closed, like closed forever and whatnot, which is really sad. The ice cream machine was broken, so I feel like it was such a cliche overall, and nothing really got done, to the point where now I'm gonna try to attempt to go again tomorrow, but actually go to the indie bookstore I know will be open, because they've been there for quite a while now. They're not going anywhere, and they're also my favorite ones in city and whatnot. It takes a bit to get there, it's really far from my place, but it's still really worth it every time I go, because they have the best collection of books, the best staff and whatnot. It's truly my favorite place overall, to the point where that's why I'm actually extending the video, because I didn't have the chance to go today to the store and get all of that done, and I knew I wanted to come in and specifically do like a bookstore run and then like a big haul along with that as well. And also I'm actually getting books not only for myself but also for my cousin, who I'll be meeting up on vacation with, and I'm not letting anyone down along with myself. I really need to hit the bookstore up, which is why I figured I won't post tonight. I'll actually post tomorrow night, not my regular norm posting on Monday night. nice, but it's not the end of the world because now we get an extra day together, also going to the bookstore, and that would be really fun, I thought, which is why at this point now, the next audiobook that I started that I have a couple hours left of, I actually want to go ahead and listen to those and finish them out so I can finally update about that in this video, because it's not going to be in any other video. And while I'm doing that, I actually want to go ahead and now continue the crochet work that I really wanted to start, like a couple lines of my next project. I also want to do my nails because I haven't done them yet, so that's like task number 3. And maybe in a couple of other things, if I get the chance, I'd like to start packing my bags for vacation tonight, and also maybe like a spread or 2 of like my reading journal, which is why those are my plans for tonight. I'll see you all in a bit once I have at least somewhat of it done, but that's what I want to get to tonight. And then tomorrow specifically, we'll be doing all the rest of the bookish things. So going to the bookstore, I'll give you a haul of what I've got, and then we'll also sit down and decide what I'm packing for me for vacation and whatnot, and then all the other books I've bought for the past couple of months that I haven't really spoken of yet. So like everything bookish in one day and whatnot, which will be fun. And then that's when the video comes out. So if y'all were wondering why this video is a day late out, it's because of this. But regardless, we still get to do a bookstore run together, so in my opinion, it's a win, and that's all of our plans combined. So I'm gonna go take a break now because I've been talking for a bit, and then get to doing all these things, and I'll see y'all maybe tonight again if I get the book done and a couple of other things. But yeah, those are my plans for the rest of today and tomorrow, and it's just gonna be really fun because it's like a fun break from doing other things, but it's also me just doing some of my favorite things ever, and like who could ever say no to that, which is why here I am. I'm gonna go head back to it now, and I'll see y'all in a bit. So that's it, bye. Okay guys, I'm here for my next update for the day before I see you directly tomorrow, which tomorrow is going to be the last day of this vlog if I didn't already explain it properly enough in the previous clip. I'm here now because I wanted to come in and speak about the next book, and also the final book for this video that I ended up finishing out reading. This one's the next one in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I was listening to it. This one's, I think it's called the Anarchist Cookbook or something like that, which it makes sense because that's like something that happens in the story. But it's the 3rd one in the series, and I was listening to this as I started the elephant embroidery as I was working my way through it, and then I finished with the embroidery. I still had a bit of this left, so I continued listening to it out this evening, and I'm done now. So update time. For a quick premise on the overall series, basically you follow Carl and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, and basically what's happened is that the world has come to an end, and the only way you can choose to keep surviving and moving on and whatnot and choose to live basically is to opt to play in this video game. Except as they're in this video game and whatnot, you keep having to like go through the levels and whatnot and defeat the bosses to make it onto the next level and keep advancing, because the only way to keep living is if you keep moving forward in the game. And so basically the apocalypse is happening, and it's in form of the video game because the world has been taken over in this sense, and you know that's the only way to keep going. You also need to keep leveling up and stuff so you are strong enough to like beat these bosses, because if they defeat you, that's it, that's game over, and that's game over for good. And these two, they're surviving right off the bat from the beginning. There's like 18 levels or something like that to this game. A human has only made it to level 13, and you don't really know what happens at the very end. You just know that you have to keep going forward to kind of survive, and there's like stairways moving on to the next level, so you have to find it and also battle all the bosses in the middle. But it comes with a twist. All the crawlers, so the people who are in this game trying to survive, their perspective is sort of like televised, which is why they say the apocalypse is televised. Picture like an influencer live streaming, because they are supposed to live stream their entire experience and kind of rack up followers and stuff, so that these followers can also help them in the leveling up by giving them like a bunch of like quest points and stuff and like loot boxes and things. And they have to also be popular now in the game to actually make it through, because otherwise it's just gonna suck for them. And this one specifically, the book, we obviously follow these guys and whatnot, but we follow them on the 4th floor. There's a list of like the top 10 people in the entire game level wise and whatnot, so they have upgraded to whatever level on their own personal stats been released. And then now there's like bounties placed on those people's heads, so there's like a bunch of like hunting going around. And then there's also this like train station wherein that's like the whole point of the level and whatnot. You need to make it through the train station so you can find the staircase to go to the next level. I don't think I'm making sense right now. This book is very confusing in the overall sense. I think it'll just make sense if you read it, because it's like nearly 600 pages or something like that, a huge book. But again, it's very well explained if you get to it. It's just, for me personally, finding it almost repetitive, considering the fact that we're now following the levels obviously of the same video game in the series, so it makes makes sense. It's just, it feels like the same things are happening over and over again. There's like an enemy to battle, there's points to be scored, something or the other happens, some sort of setback, and you know, they're trying to like revolt against the system. And it's not a bad book, don't get me wrong, but I'm getting over this really fast because the first couple of books I enjoyed. Now this one, it was a confusing book overall in the setup of the whole level, but then not just that, there were bits of it that in my own personal opinion I found them slow and kind of boring to the point where I wasn't able to like focus too much. I would have to keep like shutting the audiobook off, taking a break, and then getting back to it, because otherwise I don't think I'd have been able to finish it, which is why I'm gonna give this like 3.5 stars. I don't know if I'm gonna continue the series, because if it's going the same way, I feel like there's no point in forcing myself to, because each book gets like longer than the previous one, to the point where the final books in the series that are out at the moment, they're like 700-800 pages each, and I feel like that's too big of a commitment to really dive in if I know I'm not having a good time. So hopefully the next one will be better. I don't really know, but if it's not, I'm still interested to see how the series ends, which is why I will look up like spoiler summaries to kind of figure that out for myself. It's just I'm not interested enough to go through so much content, because I do enjoy the characters, I do enjoy what's going on. It's just sometimes it's maybe not my thing, and maybe that's just because I'm reading them too close back to each other. Maybe I should like pace myself, and then hopefully in a few months time, every few months, I'll be interested enough to get back to it. It's just at the moment I'm not. So maybe 3.5 stars, not really sure, but I finished it out. I went ahead and I continued my crochet, the blanket thing that I'm doing. You all watched one of my bookmas videos towards the very end. I think it was like the recap video or something. I spoke about it, so it's in this bag. I continued working on it and figured out that it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes if I lock in and do one entire line, and I need to do quite a few. So again, that's a whole new project started up. We'll have to see how that goes, maybe in a different video over summer, who knows. But I also went ahead and got my suitcase out to start packing, and then I got overwhelmed. So I feel like for now I'm gonna set that aside. I'll do it on my own time in a couple days after all of this is done. It's just at the moment I have it all out, I have everything ready to go. It's just I don't know, I'm getting confused, which is why for now we can check off the book, we can check off the crochet, and we can definitely check off the suitcase packing off our list, which means for tonight at least the only couple tasks I have left is painting my nails, which I will do probably before bed so it dries and then I can just go to sleep. And I also want to go back and kind of work on a couple of pages on my reading journal, which is why I think I'll see you all directly tomorrow once I have these things done and we're getting ready to go to the bookstore, because again, like I said, tomorrow is just gonna be a book buying and like talking about books sort of day. Gonna be really fun. But those are our plans basically, considering the fact that now I'm done with majority of the work, which means I can basically just chill the rest of tonight and who knows, maybe start something new. But anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm done with our next update, and now I'll probably just go figure out what books I want to buy from the bookstore tomorrow as well, because I have a couple on my list that I want physicals of really bad, and if it's there, we best believe I'm gonna be getting it, which is why that's it for this clip. I'll see you all directly tomorrow now, and bye. Hi guys, so it's now the day I'll be posting this video, which is why it's the last day of recording for it, if that makes any sense. I don't know why I'm complicating it more than it should be. Basically, this is going to be my final update because I've gone ahead and done the last couple things we had left for the vlog. I also went ahead and spent my entire evening book shopping, so along with all of that, I also have like the biggest haul to give you, because I've been very stingy with buying books this year, especially because of my book buying ban. I've been very careful and mindful of what I'm purchasing in the form of audiobooks only. On Kindle, I've bought absolutely nothing. Physically, I had only 2 I'd bought, but then this week again went all out in the sake of this video also, but also because it was indie bookstore day. All of these wanted to support my bookseller, but also I needed physical copies, which is why here we are. I'm here now for again catch up time, and then the haul and a bunch of other bookish things, and then after that we can end the vlog, because with this we have finished out the last couple activities that we had to do for this bookish reset. I'm already feeling so much better to jump right back into my fourth wing, the reading the rest of the series video. You will hopefully get to see next week, and so already refreshed, and thanks to that, now it's update time. Firstly, I did go ahead and stay up yesterday in the night. I did not start anything on the journal because frankly, I'm a little too like conflicted and whatnot on a couple things. Firstly, I haven't gone ahead and finished out my 25 journal yet, and I'm gonna continue in the same journal because like more than half of it is empty. I'm not trying to waste like notebooks and stuff, which is why my 26 journal, firstly, I want to go ahead and finish out the little bit that's left of 25, but then 26 specifically, I don't want to format it the way I did 25 because it's the next year and I'm still stuck on the 25 journal just because I formatted it in a way that it's taking so long to finish out, and you know, with college and all these other things, I just keep pushing it back and I'm not really interested anymore, to the point where I don't want to skip it, I want to get it done. It's just at the moment I'm conflicted, which is why yesterday I did go ahead and save a couple pins to my Pinterest as ideas, because I'm trying to go for like a minimal journal for 2026, not as many spreads as last time. Obviously they'll be going all in and all out, it's just not as much to do, because I feel like sometimes when it's like wrap-ups and stuff, I don't really find those necessary in my opinion, like I did in 25, because frankly I keep posting on YouTube, I have my ratings on the videos, I have my ratings on my Goodreads, I don't need it in a book as well, and that adds on, but also a couple of other things I've done, which is why we'll be swapping things up in that sense. And so for now I didn't really start anything on the journal, it's just me compiling ideas, but I'm really praying that, you know, things turn around and I definitely take it with me on vacation, to the point where over there I'm able to catch up on it, because I have literally nothing to do on vacation. So there we'll get crafty, there we'll get into it, and that was update number 1. Number 2, I did paint my nails. I wasn't sure what color I was gonna go, my usual like red and whatnot, but then I figured it's spring/summertime, whatever, so I felt that maybe I'll try something light, something I wouldn't normally gravitate towards, and I did this like pink, and honestly I'm actually loving it so much. I know the edges don't look that great, I have to go fix them, but for now at least I'm obsessed. Maybe I should just change my colors up kind of more often, because I love these so much, can't stop staring. So that's another thing we did. The books I want to take with me on vacation, I'm still very conflicted, so I need your opinions, because last year I did go ahead and read the Some I Turned Pretty books, and I said I'd like to reread at some point when I head out on vacation so I can like watch the show, but at this point I'm not really sure if I want to do that anymore, and that was my question to ask, if you all would be interested in like watching me kind of reread and watch the show as well, because those are the only books I'm conflicted about. Otherwise I'm not going to be carrying too many on vacation. I'm only thinking of carrying Emily Henry's backlist, so like Beach Read, Happy Place, Funny Story, and that's it, because otherwise I don't really read the physical books I carry too much of anyway. I want to go in and carry too much and then have too much of like a heavy luggage with me, but also because I'm gonna be with my Kindle as well, I'll read all the books I need to over there, so I don't need to carry too many, and also because my cousin has a couple books she wants me to read of her collection, and so it doesn't make a lot of sense to carry too many, especially because I want to live in the moment in my vacation as well. So those are my plans for right now. Let me know about the Some I Turned Pretty books and whatnot. Now finally for the last part of the video that we've all been waiting for, my book haul essentially. So earlier this year my first 5-star of the year was Caught Up, and actually called for like a physical online of this. I would say the first week of like exams starting up, so nearly like a month ago at this point, but this was like my first book that I actually used to break my book buying ban, because it was just so worth it. Haven't stopped thinking about it since I finished it. Easy 5-star. I didn't give it 5-star when I read it, but looking back it's definitely a 5, and if you haven't gotten to the series, please do, because this, in my opinion, was really worth owning, especially considering the fact that I've read the rest of the series but I didn't enjoy them the way I enjoyed this, and so only got a physical of this because I know I just need this on my shelf, and this was number 1. Number 2, in this other vlog I ended up reading Fake Skating, and I gave it 4.5 stars originally, but the thing is I'm considering again, because for some reason I'm craving a reread. I just want to go back to it, and also the characters were great, it was YA and it was really fun, and also Lynn Painter, to the point where maybe if I reread, because this is one my sister will be carrying along with her on summer vacation, and if I get the chance I might. This definitely could look up to be a 5-star book, so obviously I needed like a physical on my shelf. So many great reminders. At some point the guy Alec in this, he's like listening to Exile by Taylor Swift, and then he has the Black Dog on his playlist, so obviously that's my people right there. But also this was like the best time ever in terms of like banter and everything else, and listen, to the point where I needed to like get a physical just so I can make my little sister read it, so all good signs, which is why this was like the second book I bought. This was also an online purchase I made a couple weeks ago during exams, but that's it. Now for books I specifically got for this video, right before I started recording for this video, like a couple weeks before that, I'm just unboxing it right now, unpackaging it, calling for this book, and it's actually been an import, which is why it took so long to come in. It's called The Chemistry of Love. I read it a couple years ago. Every time I talk about it, I wonder why I don't have a physical, because it was just so amazing. And this also I'm considering taking with me on vacation, because I'm like craving a reread. But yeah, now I finally have my physical after saying in many videos countless times that I want one, to the point where now it came in perfect time for this video, because my shipping time, it said it would take like 20 days, but it's come before, and so this is great. Along with this, on the imports and whatnot, because I was like getting free delivery if I called for a couple extras and whatnot, my sister got a couple ones she wanted, but for my other book that I ended up calling for in the same order and whatnot, I ordered this book called Float, which I also read a couple summers ago. Amazing read, had the best time ever, but it hasn't come in yet because that for shipping shows again like another 20-25 days. It hasn't been that long, and it, you know, definitely isn't looking up to come early. And because I will be going on vacation like this week and whatnot, I don't think it's coming in time for me to take it with me, which is why that's a bit sad, but I think I'll read it once I get back because it's not the end of the world. So that's also on my haul. It's just it hasn't come in yet for me to actually physically show you, which is kind of sad, but that's also part of the video, so that's a special mentions. What I bought today from the bookstore for myself, this one I wasn't gonna get, but also I read this last year, had the best time ever. Currently I'm reading another Rebecca Yarrow's book, so I figured my sign was just seeing this in the bookstore and knowing again after having looked at it that I'm craving a reread. The Last Letter, the ending of this is insane to the point where it kind of broke my heart, and that's the reason I didn't like give it a full 5 stars. But looking back again, I haven't stopped thinking about like the yearning and the story of this since I first read it in January I think of last year, which is why I figured, listen, I want to reread, and so I got a physical because again this was the last in the store. This was like literally calling out to me. All signs pointed the right way, and so this again was an unexpected purchase. I didn't really go in thinking I would get this, but apparently I did. So this is what we have. Originally I went in for The Night We Met, which was the new Abby Jimenez book, but the thing is, the one copy he did have, it was sort of damaged, and I didn't want to start it yet, especially because I haven't even read the book yet. I don't know if I would like it and whatnot, to the point where I'm okay with a damaged copy, which is why I didn't pick it up at the moment. I will go ahead and read it hopefully over vacation again, and if I think it's good, then one of the indie bookstores over there and whatnot, I'll just buy it from there, so it's not the end of the world. But the other book I actually went in today for was A Court of Silver Flames, because I really want to catch up now that I'm reading all these fantasy books, having the best time, and because we have a couple of new ACOTAR books coming towards the end of the year, so it just makes sense for me to have my own physicals so I can get to it and then have it all complete by the time those come out, which is why I got the physical of this. Finally gonna be reading it. This is the only book I got that I haven't read yet, so in my opinion that's still good because there's only one added to my TBR, and I'm gonna get to this in the next couple of months soon anyway, so hopefully that's going to be happening shortly. This is, however, a huge book, so I might just read it on Kindle, who knows. But again, it's an ACOTAR book. I just knew I needed it on my shelf, which is why I got the physical, and the spine is actually beautiful. None of this spine design is on my other copy, so I don't know if it's like a new print or something like that, but listen, I got this anyway and I'm happy I did. So that was my final purchase for me specifically. I also went in to buy a couple books for my cousin because she doesn't live close to a bookstore, and I'm going to be heading out on vacation this week anyway. When I see her, I'll give it to her, and so for her purchases I'm quickly going to speed through them. These are all books I recommended that she decided that okay, she's going to jump on the train and then read them as well. Firstly, Flawless. This one's kind of obvious. We all know I loved it. We all know she's going to love it because frankly we are very similar in our reading tastes, and listen, I just can't wait to like sit down and dissect this with her. So this is number 1. Number 2, we have Project Hail Mary. I read and watched the movie of this recently, and then now when I was telling her about it, because she's like a huge sci-fi fan, she decided she'd bite the bullet, read it as well, and then get to the movie. So hopefully over the summer, if she gets this done, I'll be heading out to watch the movie again with her, because again, incredible story, just really worth the purchase. And so this was the second book she ended up getting. Final book for her, and this is so funny in like a twist of fate, because I was kind of explaining the other sci-fi book I read to her that I also really enjoyed. She ended up going with Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I know this is funny because like in my previous update I said I'm not sure if I'm continuing the series, but at this point I think I will. I think I'll wait for her to catch up to the point where I'm at, and then we'll buddy read the rest of it because she thought it was interesting enough. She decided she'll bite the bullet as well. This one personally for me, the first one was like an easy 4.5 stars because it was so good, and so now I'm excited again to read the series. This is all I needed, and so she's gonna get to it soon. I'll get to it along with her, and this was her final book that she ended up getting. All in all, I had like 8 books to show you as part of haul, so I think that was great. I think we did great as well, supporting an indie bookstore. Never gonna feel bad about that, but also getting like all these fun books to kind of get to reading along now, whether it's a reread, whether it's like a new read that I want to get into really soon. But apart from that, yeah, we have now reached the end of this specific video because these were all the bookish items I was gonna be doing with y'all. I did also go ahead and pick up on the same way and whatnot to the bookstore the elephant that I was getting done, the embroidery. It's finally like back from framing, and I think it turned out pretty cool. So this is something again could show you because it came back just in time for the video. But yeah, along with that, now we have reached the end of the video because we have completed all the bookish items I wanted to. My complete bookish reset is done in time for vacation now, so excited to like get there, get all of my books read and whatnot, but also catch up on like the Fourth Wing series because that's going to be the next vlog that comes out. So until I see you for that, if you guys enjoyed coming along for this video specifically, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them. And now since I'll be seeing you directly next week for that one specifically, take care, stay safe. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for this video. Maybe we'll do a second part to this when I get back from vacation and I'm reading some of these. But until then, yeah, I'll see you directly next week in that video. And so that's about it for this one. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye.